Now we're going to go on to round 3. Now if your gauge is way off, you're going to want to frog it and change your hook size to, if it's too small, you want to use a bigger hook, and if it's too large, use a smaller hook. Alright, so now round 3. With main color, double crochet in the next double crochet, 2 double crochet, and the next double crochet in each contrasting color stitch. So it's double crochet, then increase all the way across the opposite color. Double crochet, then increase. So we're going to continue with the same color. Double crochet, and this dropped all my loops here. Try that again. Double crochet. There we go. Then increase, meaning put 2 in 1. So it's 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. And do that in each stitch until we get up to the last one here. So I'm going to pause it and let you do that. It's 1, then 2, 1, then 2, 1, then 2, all the way over, and I'll see you at the stitch holder. Okay, I've done 1, then 2, all the way up, and now I'm up at the stitch that has the holder in it. I'm going to pull the stitch holder and the tail of the other color yarn over here out of the way, and I'm going to pinch it between my fingers and make sure I only go into the top of that double crochet with my increase. So I do 2 in there, 1, and then 2. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this up a little bit, take my hook out, because we're going to change back to the contrasting color. Remove the stitch holder and put it in that loop so it don't come undone while we're working. Then get my hook and put it in the loop of the contrasting color and pull it down. And now we're going to switch our balls of yarn back. I'm going to put the one I'm working with on the right and the one I'm not working with, the one I'm not working with on the right and the one I'm working with on the left, so it's out of the way. So I'll have this loop and everything out of the way so I won't get caught in my stitching. Okay, and so the one you're working with is on the left. Unless you're doing this left-handed, then you do it the other way around. And now we're going to do the second half of round 3. And the second half of the round 3 is going to be the same as the first half. Drop main color, pick up contrasting, double crochet in the next, 2 in the next, and each main color to marker. So we're going to do the same thing we did the first half, and then at the end we'll count all the stitches, and it should be 42 stitches. So I want to keep this pattern sheet out of the way so my camera don't try to focus on that instead of my hands and the stitches here. Okay, so we're going to do 1 and then increase all the way around. So 1, 1, 2, 1, need some more yarn, 1, 2, and I will resume when we get up to the stitch marker. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way to the stitch marker. See it? Okay, I'm all the way up to the stitch marker, and I'm going to put 2 stitches in the marked stitch. So pull the stitch marker off to the side a little bit, or you can remove it if you want. I just pull it off to the side, and I will put my 2 stitches in the stitch with the marker. And then I'm going to just take my hook out for a second remove the stitch marker and then put it in the top of the stitch I just finished and put my hook back in. Okay, so that is the end of round 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can see the swirl, and it's growing, and it should be 42 stitches. So if you want to count from here to here, so it should be 21 and 21 here. That's how you get 42. Okay, and I'm not going to bother counting. I'm going to just move on, because even if you're off by a stitch or so, you're not going to see it. It'll work just fine. Okay, so now we're going to 1, 2, 3, so we need to start round 4. Round 4 is with contrasting color, which is the one we have our hook in. We're going to double crochet in 2 and 2 in the next double crochet in each main color. All right, so basically we're going to do 2, then increase, 2, then increase. Last row we did 1 and increase. Now we're going to do 2 and increase. So I'm going to do a few stitches and then I'll let you on your own. So 1, and I keep dropping my loops with this hook. 1, there we go. 2, then increase by putting 2 in 1, then 1, then 2, then increase, and do that pattern all the way to the next, to the end of the main color. So when we get up to the last stitch, I will resume. Okay, I'm up to the last stitch for the first half of this round, and I am going to put 2 double crochet in that stitch, and just like before, I'm going to hold on to that loop in the tail of the main color to keep it out of the way while I'm making that stitch. Now, since we're at the middle, we're going to pull up the loop and we're going to change colors. So I'm going to take the stitch holder out of the main color, put it into the loop I just finished, and let that hang out of the way. Going to move the contrasting color to the right and bring the main color to the left. Put my hook in that loop and pull it down. And we're going to continue with the second half of round 4. And drop contrasting color, pick up main color, double crochet in next 2, double crochet 2 in the next, same pattern. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, all the way to the stitch marker. So you always want to keep the stitch marker in here so that you don't lose where the end of your round is. So we're going to do 1, 1, and 2. 1, 2. 1, more yarn, 1, and then 2. So I'm going to pause it here and we will meet you at this stitch marker. Okay, I've done 1, 1, 2 all the way to the stitch marker. I still need to put the 2 double crochet in the marked stitch. So pull the stitch marker off to the side so that it's out of the way and put 2 stitches in it, and then move the stitch marker up to the double crochet I just finished, and that is round 4.